Thank you so much for coming today. My name is Erica and I serve as the program manager at Conductor. So I just want to share a little bit about Conductor before we get started. I know everybody is really here for the start of the show, but Conductor is on a mission. Our mission is to empower entrepreneurs, small business owners, and innovators in Arkansas. We're able to do that through events like today, some inspirational stories of local entrepreneurs and their journey. And then we also have technical assistant workshops throughout the month on different entrepreneurship topics. We also do one-on-one consults with our team, and we have a whole network of experts in different industries that also offer free consults. And then we also have the Arnold Innovation Center that's powered by Conway Corp. This is a co-working space for small business owners at a very affordable price. So if you're a small business owner and you're interested in learning more about the AIC, let one of us know. Our team is here. We have Caitlin, Mallory, Caitlin Crockett. Again, I'm Erica. And okay, we can go ahead and get started. Please help me welcome Steve and Sarah.
Just want to really appreciate y'all coming out and taking your time out of the day. I don't know what that was about, but anyway, if y'all didn't know, like this is the most people, like this is the record-breaking attendance for a startup story, and we feel very honored to be part of that. Thank you. So people that don't know me, I'm Stephen Long with Top Notch Heating and Air. You probably don't see me around in this building that much because I'm out with our team doing HVAC magic out there in the world. But I bet you do know somebody here. It's a familiar face. This person is my wife. This is my business partner. This is my best friend.
Stop that. Go back one. Oh. Okay. So we'll, okay. Okay, thank you. I'm back to the beginning. So we are Top Notch Heating and Air, and at this startup story, we wanted to kind of go through where we started, where we're at, and kind of where we're going. And then I'll also have some businesses in here and the businesses information so that you can contact them. These are people that have helped us out along the way, and I get a lot of that. Like even Miss Sandra will say, like, who did you meet with that? And so I tried to like put that information in here. A lot of those people are even here today. So I have QR codes, so feel free to like whip out your camera, take pictures, do the whole thing. So this is us. We recently had some professional photos. I think this is a really good one, so I wanted to start the presentation with this one. Steve and I met in 2006. I had decided I was going to break up with Steven 1 month into our relationship because it was weird and quiet. And I think God I did. He actually brought me flowers that night. I'm like, oh, I can't break up with him now. And then ever since then, we just like really made it.
I feel like there was something going on there, but let me get some flowers.
So these pictures are actually a little bit after 2006, but this is what I pulled for the slideshow. I graduated Lakeside High School in Hot Springs.
And I graduated Mountain Pine in 2000. We both graduated in 2008. Mountain Pine, the little small town on the outskirts of Hot Springs. So.
And then to make a shorter story on our college, I graduated from the University of Central Arkansas with both my bachelor's, which I'm going to show in 2012. And then Stephen graduated from Pulaski Technical College, which is now owned by the University of Arkansas. So I think it has some extra names, letters now. But that's that. So before we graduated in 2012, I had a life-altering moment in 2011.
Yeah, so she had, I know you can see in these pictures now, and you see her right now, you would never even know it. So she's had 2 strokes before due to birth control, basically. She couldn't read, she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk. I remember the nurse coming in there with a piece of paper that said, "What's 2 + 2?" It was like,
yeah, so some of the official diagnoses were dyscalculia, which is the inability to do math, aphasia, dysphagia. Aphasia is the word finding thing, dysphagia is the swallowing thing, Even now, sometimes I get caught up on some like popcorn or like real crunchy stuff, I'll get choked up a little bit more. I was smiling in all these pictures, but this was a really hard time. And keep in mind, I was in undergrad, we were not married at this time. I gave Stephen an out option here because at this time I didn't know if I could have babies. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to walk again. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to function normally. So I gave him an out and
Yeah, when she popped that question to me, I was like, what are you talking about? That never even resonated in my brain.
yeah, so he never wavered and we got married in 2012 on the beach of Florida, in Panama City Beach. We didn't know that we would end up living in Florida. We'll get to the end of the story at the time, but we did get married in Florida. We just thought it was a fun destination. We thought it was pretty. We loved it. So laying in the hospital bed at the rehab, after I got sick, I applied to a dietetic internship because I went to school for nutrition. I was denied the internship. And so I had a couple teachers tell me, like, well, maybe it's meant to be, you got sick, you got a lot going on, maybe it's meant to be. So last minute, I found a program in Dallas. It was their inaugural program, and I was accepted in Dallas. So just for time frame, this was May of 2012, we got married. In June of 2013, Nana was here and I did a day trip to and back from Dallas to do an interview in Dallas for the internship. 2 weeks later, they called me and told me I got it. And then a month later, we moved to Dallas. We were freshly married. I was still technically healing and sick. And then I was starting my dietetic internship, which was unpaid. In Dallas, and Stephen was working at Lowe's at the time, and Stephen was making $10 an hour. We took a loan out against his paid for truck to pay for rent and then pay back the truck, so we paid for his truck twice. I pulled a stock photo of Dallas because that was a hell of a time. And I don't think we have any photos from that time frame of the year we lived in Dallas. It was awful. We were very poor. We was in an internship school. Stephen didn't have his career yet. I was trying to do mine. It was all from our lives. So that looks like a great picture of Dallas. Going.
Like that was probably just the start of it. So just trying to, and that, with us being freshly married and all of that, that starts the kind of the up or the struggle. So it kind of makes you kind of deal with that. And
I think being like really poor during that time taught us how to be poor later. Now that we, and I say that as someone who didn't necessarily come from poverty like Stephen did, but using those, and I don't mean to not acknowledge poverty as a whole, because that's a complex issue, but just having those tendencies of finding food in your pantry, making it work, or you only have $10 until payday, making it work, finding a gym and then that's your activity out, or and trying to do those kind of things. So in 2014, we moved back from Dallas because remember that was awful, and we bought our first house, and this house was in Little Rock. And then in 2015, we had our first child, Emily. And she is our most perfect, precious child. She's got a little attitude. I don't know where she come from.
I don't know if you can see in there. I was so sleeping.
Nothing prepared us for parenthood. And so during this whole time, I was working at the Arkansas Children's Hospital as a food service manager. I oversaw patient food, oversaw breast milk and formula. So I'm a registered dietitian. I ran all that. Arkansas Children's Hospital lost the contract with Airmark, which is a contract food service company. Airmark, I was actually an employee of Children's. Airmark hired me on as a food service director, and they paid for our relocation to the University of Florida. So we packed up to the University of Florida in Gainesville. I was the food service director. I ran a $5 million account there.
And I did more like walk-in coolers, walk-in refrigeration, all of that.
Yeah, we started to get a few rumors because we were both working in the food service department, that he was like the maintenance guy. And so we just still got some good rumors going that the director was hooking up with the maintenance. Here, but I just think it was hilarious. So surprise, surprise, University of Florida. University of Florida school is great, don't let me not endorse that, but the program that we worked for, and the managers we worked for, the worst year of our lives. More bad than jealous, I don't know if that's right. Awful. This was the worst time of our lives. We had a 2-year-old. I was still trying to like make it work, like, let's do this. I make good money. I made the most money here than I made in a career. Steve was like, Sarah, this is not good.
Yeah, so this right here, this is basically the turning point. Right
Yes.
here for us. People, you know, the things that we stand for today, this picture as well. Working for somebody, it doesn't matter how much they pay you, they could pay you an X amount, but if they treat you poorly, and that's just, I mean, that is just crazy. That's,
The things
just
that,
something we couldn't do.
yeah, they spoke to us, it's just wild. So this is when we learned that time was more valuable than money. And we hadn't had that lesson yet. So in 2018, we were still living in Florida, and this is the picture that broke me. My daughter was 2, and if you're Florida resident, you get really cheap Disney passes. So we went, I think it was like $50 a ticket. And my daughter was free because she was less than 3. So we went and we did Disney World, for really cheap, like I said. And we were having a great time, whatever. And then Emily, who was almost 3, like a week shy of 3, because I got her for free, walked up to Cinderella and like was immediately starstruck and like just instantly like hugged her. And I am like bawling. Like this was like, they say it's a magical experience. This was the magical experience that happened. She just thought Cinderella was real. I knew in this moment that I have to do better for her and for us as a family and a whole. And like, this is not what we're meant to be doing. I need to be around more. I need to be doing other things. This is the moment Cinderella broke me, basically. In 2019, we moved back home. I lived with my mom in her apartment for a little bit. We got our own apartment, and we finally got a house, or another house here in Conway. I was working for Greenbrier School District. We knew we wanted to start our business at this business. We were throwing around a potato bar. We did all kinds of
Conversation.
yeah. And everything was going well with Greenbrier at the time. And Stephen was back working with Chanel Heating and Air. So during Stephen's whole career, he basically was working at Chanel this whole time. We left to Florida. He went back to Chanel after we came back to Florida. We had our second and last child. And this is us willing in to have Owen. From my history, my medical history, I was super high risk. So I had to be high risk at UMS. Luckily, all that went well. So 2019, we're doing great. And then you all know what's coming. March of 2020. I don't think anyone was prepared for this. We sure weren't. The school's closed. I was the food service director for Greenbrier. They wanted to feed the kids in the community. So I had to whip out a complete food service program out of nowhere. We had no support from the district, from the government, from anything. There was nothing. We were doing it all ourselves. I fed all the kids in Greenbrier and surrounding areas during COVID. I was one of the first to receive the COVID vaccines in the state of Arkansas because I was on the front lines feeding people. I'm very grateful for that. And at the time, Stephen's company was kind of like, oh, it's COVID. We might not give you a raise right now, or we might not. We don't know what we're going to do.
So, like, for me working in Chanel, they're wonderful. They were a wonderful company. They've gotten bought out now, but yeah, I mean,
I don't know. It just wasn't. We knew that we again had to do something different. So Chris, who's here now, works for us technically. Chris had his own business. Chris had left, started his own business, and Chris was trying to recruit Stephen. But we Uno reversed Chris and recruited Chris to work for us, basically. And we like kind of started our idea of what we were going to plan for. So we had no idea of how to do this. We just know we wanted to do it. So I got the idea of starting a handyman business or like kind of like small jobs, home, everything. So in May of 2020, we drove to Missouri and bought Stephen a truck. We were a one-car family. We bought Stephen a truck, and we happened to get a box trailer. We were able to personally finance this. And then this was the very first marketing picture I took of Stephen. And I used it on all kinds of marketing stuff. And that picture of his face is what got us out there and got people to trust us in the beginning. Because you'd see these handyman companies with like a wrench on it, and you would see the like Hobo Joe rolling out, and you know. You can see like a normal person that's dressed professionally, that looks the part. It helps with our logos on our trucks. The whole image of us is where we could start. And then ever since then, we were fully booked. So as of July of 2020, we officially established our first entity of Top Notch Home Services. It was a handyman home service company. We did heating and air. We got our licenses, things like that. So between 21 and 22, things were going pretty great. We won AY Magazine, best contractor. We beat out Scott Lucas. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. He has like 5,000 followers on Facebook. Like we had like 400 at this point. I could not believe, I don't know how we won that. We won it again the next year, and we just won it again this following year. We also won Arkansas Times for best contractor. We did a bunch of advertising. As you can see, I continued to use Stephen's face on things, and that really helped us get out there. We put up our signs. We were able to purchase 2 additional fleet trucks from the same dealership in Missouri. They're fantastic. We got those logos, so things were going pretty good, we thought. We had a few employees by this point. And then in November of 21, Stephen and I paid a god-awful amount of money to go see Dave Ramsey. And I don't know if you know, but Dave Ramsey is a financial guru, podcaster, radio host. He's been around forever. He has a program called Entree Leadership. It's a conference. This was in kind of COVID era, so they did the conference in Florida because Florida doesn't care about COVID and masks. No one had to wear masks, and we went to this conference. And I think this is when, again, another light bulb went off when we were like, okay, like we need to get serious with this. We can really do this. And we had a great conference, and so we sat down, we skipped one of the sessions one night, and we sat down in the conference area, and we're like, what are we gonna do? We're like, first of all, we have to fire 2 people. We have to fire basically all our employees because they were awful. We learned that. Stephen asked me at the time, let's go straight heating and air. I think we should do it. And I was like, no way are we going straight heating and air. There's Middleton, there's Freldenhoven, there's, all the people, there's no way we're doing that. Plus, like, I didn't want him gone after hours on the weekends of what heating and air tells, because if you need service, I didn't want him gone all the time. And so we created this membership program for handyman services. So that was going to be our focus, was handyman services. And so we had, like, you guys received so many handyman services per year. And then as an add-on, we did our HVAC add-on, and that went well. And then so we put this out there. I paid a marketing agency to make us a website to help format the subscription type method. I joined Conway Chamber, joined a pipeline to kind of get all our handyman services. I did all the things. And we didn't get one person to sign up for the handyman membership, not one. But what we did get was a bunch of signups for the heating and air membership. makes me mad to this day. But he was fun. And so, we knew again, that we had to do something differently. So in the midst of everything, a handyman can only do work up to $2,000 in the state of Arkansas, without a license. So we obtained a residential remodeling license, and our neighbors directly behind us, who are very nice people, remodeled their house with us. I think this project was close to 40 grand, and we like couldn't believe that someone was gonna pay us 40 grand to do their house. And so, and it was, this is the project that broke us. So, we did this remodel, and we obviously want all our customers to be happy and everything. But she couldn't decide on a paint color, and so we painted those custom made cabinets for them 3 separate times. Pull them through. We painted the walls and the trim, I think 2 or 3 times. It just was one train wreck after another on this remodel project. And we're like, we're done. We're done. Our employees are all, it just was a downhill spiral.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, we love what we do at any point, and when we get involved like in this, that we're gonna execute no matter what. But you just know when something's not right for you, and you have to be disciplined enough to cut it off and move on to something else.
Yeah, so after they we finished the job, everything was finally finished, they paid us. It was kind of a little awkward for a time because they lived directly behind us. So like they'd see us and we'd see them. And we'd like, they'd come out their backyard and we'd like go back in. This is when we knew again that we were done, that our time for remodeling, our time for this was not worth the money. And again, time is what is more beneficial to us than money at this point. And so another hard lesson. Unfortunately, and I'm very open and honest, you can literally ask me anything, but we are still paying off debt from this project. Because we learn, you live and you learn.
So with this home service business, it's just like another milestone. So we learned so many things from it, from managing the correct employees to managing accounts. So things like this doesn't happen again, aligning ourselves with great people that want to see you succeed. So we learned, we are today because of this business and everything that we've learned from it. And we are very grateful for every step of the way, because you learn, it's just little milestones that you're going to learn those little things all the way.
Yeah. So, in the rest of 22, we had to just proceed on because I quit my job in 21. Obviously he had quit his job a long time before I did. These are our family, we have to get paid, we have to figure out something. So we got this bid on JD Carracker, I think this is his last name, his house. We painted the outside of his house with painters temporarily. We did that job, that carried us over for a bit, really nice guy. I took any kind of marketing opportunity I could. I took quotes, I took things, and I would post, and pull us on from jobs until we could figure it out. We did community events. I made sure Chuck, I knew he was going to be here. So we did this community event for Home and Realty. I cannot wait. Home and Realty is here as well, Claire. I cannot wait for this coming year. I hope you do it again. So they had a chili cook-off for their principal broker, lost his mother to pancreatic cancer. Thank you. And so they had a donation thing. You get a chili booth, donate $250, come taste it, you win. Okay. So I decided to make my white chicken chili. It was obviously the best. It was my mother's recipe. She was like, I am your recipe. I made it. It was excellent. And Chuck back there, that's Chuck. He's an insurance agent with integrity. His chili won the judge's choice. No, my chili won the fan favorite. So we continued to do community events, and then we had some pictures taken. And then with this picture is when we posted, we made it official. We are leading the handyman. I had a brief meeting with Leo at the chamber. I don't know. I felt like I needed some permission to be like, hey, I think about doing this. And Leo was like, okay, what else? Okay, so we finally posted there. This is what we're doing. We're going to be done. So in January 2023 was our goal to go full service heating and air. I made a goal with Selena who is our business coach, and I said, January, we're going full heating and air. This is what we're doing. We knew that in winter time, it would be a slower time. We knew we'd have a transition, but we knew if we didn't start it in January to prepare for the summer now, that we would be trying to build in the summer and that wouldn't go well. So we knew there was going to be a growth period for us. We took our membership and we ran with it. Instead of doing a monthly, we do an annual upfront, because with our membership, you don't have to pay for any service fees, diagnostic fees, anything like that. So it's an upfront cost to help cover some of that.
Yeah, and I would say, I think that for me at least, being an HVAC person, and I know other people in this room as well, will see this right off the bat, starting a brand new HVAC company in the middle of winter, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But, I mean, with her marketing and a lot of praying and everybody surrounding us and supporting us, I mean, Scott has been the limit for us.
So we had a different lawyer, and that lawyer we learned didn't do anything for us. I had to have a tough conversation with I was in a mastermind at the time. I basically was crying every time because I was like, I can't understand. I started the process of obtaining Top Notch Heating and Air as a name in July, August of the previous year. The lawyer didn't do anything for us the entire time. And then I had to make the hard decision. It's very hard for me to fire that lawyer and find another one. After many references, and I'll post our new lawyer up here in just a bit, but through many references, we got a new lawyer, and we had to basically start another entire new entity. And that name, Top Notch Heating and Air, was owned by a 19-year-old kid in Salem, Arkansas, and he had a mullet. And he did not have his heating and air contractor's license. And he was running this business, but he got our name. I missed the name by 6 months. And if I really look back far enough, the lawyer could have got it for us. But that's okay. It's a lesson learned. So we paid out this 19-year-old kid a hefty payday to get this name from him, and he had to change names. So we had to deal with the lawyer and all that. And then finally, March of this year, finally, we officially signed the paperwork for our second. So that's kind of like how we got here, which is a lot, very complicated. So hello, we're talking about when we started, we knew we wanted it to be women owned. We were only going to make it 55% or whatever the requirement is for women owned. And she was like, how are y'all paying taxes? How are you, with mom for everything? She's like, it'd be easier if it was just 100% women owned. And then just whatever. So I'm like, okay, so whatever, you're the lawyer, whatever. And so we did it. And so I didn't think at the time we were going to really go with it. I remember meeting here at AFC with Mallory, and I was like, I don't know if we should push this or not. It's a very male dominated field. I don't know. And then Steve and I talked, and we're like, you know what, we're just going for it. So we became 100% women owned. We focus on residential and light commercial, and we live in Conway, but all of our services are out of Central Arkansas. Do you want to go into what light commercial means and residential?
Yeah, residential is any kind of, obviously a residential house that you all live into. Light commercial is anything below 10 tons, is basically a light commercial.
Tonnage is the size of an AC unit.
Correct. So tonnage is the size of an AC unit. So residential is only up to like a 5 ton. And when you get past that, it gets more of the commercial. So that's kind of the difference between the two.
So this is our team. We've added one more since then. So we have Hannah, and of course, obviously Stephen and I. We have Chris, who's our service manager, and Jonathan, and then Brian we've added since then. Brian worked with Stephen at Chanel back in the day, and I had come across Brian's information on Indeed, and I reached out to him, and he was like, yeah, and so we brought him in. And I'll tell a little story about you, Brian. Brian's car had broken down. And he took a $50 Uber. He lives in Little Rock. He took a $50 Uber to get from Little Rock to here for the interview. Was 30 minutes early, and we knew Brian already. He still came up, and we were like, "Done. You're with us." That
little small thing right there shows dedication.
We took him home, so he didn't have to Uber. So I want to talk about our values. I worked with Selena to help work on some of these. So number one, we use cutting edge technology. we have been putting a lot of effort into a customer service program called Service Titan. And we use this technology to keep track of your units and your information. We could do continuing education, which is our number 4 value, but of systems that need Bluetooth on them, or there's all kinds of things. We are up to date on technology. We're using the most recent gauges to test your equipment. We're using different systems that other companies are not using because they don't want to pay for it. We will, and we will use the best for our customers. Number 2, we value our employees. I don't know if you recall a few stories ago, but our job sucked. And so we were not valued employees, and we wanted to make sure our employees feel valued and are paid a fair wage. We want to make sure that we are providing equal opportunities. Our women are paid the same as our men, like all the things, right? We want it to be that company. It's very important for us. So we do offer, we just recently started offering full insurance. And then we also offer
training, so personal training. So they get 2 days out of the week to go on their own time. And then they get with a personal trainer that is assigned directly to them. They get to work out. So if you're being healthy and you got a good lifestyle at home, you bring it to work. And if you got a good one at work, you bring it back home. So that's very important to us.
The other thing that's important to us is mental health. We believe that the whole person needs to be whole to come to work and to do their job. So we take mental health very seriously. There have been days, Hannah, I don't know if she wouldn't mind me sharing this. She lost electricity in her apartment. She hadn't been maybe working with her for a month now. Lost electricity, was freaking out. I was like, Sarah, I'm so sorry. I don't think I can work from home. I can come in later. And I was like, take a day. Do you need tomorrow too? Like, just take a day. And she just couldn't grasp that like, it's okay. Like, take yourself, collect yourself. We'll see you when you get back. And so just doing something like that is not hard as an employer to do. But it's just kind of changing the way that employers are treating their employees.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, we all been in this situation. It's crazy and it's terrible that you have to pick between my wife is sick and I need to take care of her, but now I'm going to get in trouble at my job. So now I'm at the crossroads. So what do I do? And from our previous experiences with everything that we've had, we vow to ourselves like this is what we're doing, and we'll never treat anybody like that for sure.
The other thing, so value number 3 is diversity and inclusion. The heating and air world is dominated by old white men, as the world. So I am determined to kind of change that up a little bit. Stephen has to often remind me that,
One day I will be able
old white men. Times me. But we really try to do things differently. I want to really work on getting more female techs in the field with us. If they want to do that, I would like to get more African American. A Black female tech would be incredible. I have never met a Black female technician. I rarely see Black technicians. We want to make sure that we are openly accepting different individuals with different sexual preferences. Again, that's none of our business, but we want them to feel accepted here and with us, because that's their private lives and we accept everyone. So that's just us. I mentioned continuing education. We are always on continuing education for our techs, ourselves. We're going to conferences, we're doing masterminds, we're doing all the things. But a big part of it is continuing education of our customers. A lot of our customers don't know anything about heating and air. They don't even know they have heating and air in their attic or in their closet. They don't know what it is. They just know it's not working. And so a lot of companies will flip in and say, oh, yep, gotta replace it, gotta do it. It's gonna be 10 grand. There you go. And so that's not how we function. We like to educate our customers and give them the full picture of their system and their experience so that they can make the decision that's best for them and their financial situation and their family.
Yeah, and I would hit on education. It's good for like us to continue on the education, because even in everything else in the world, HVAC is part of it as well. The technology has taken over. So basically, they're coming out with equipment now is with all the Bluetooth and the control boards. I could right up to your house, and I don't have to knock on your door. I can connect to your Bluetooth on your furnace, and I can see what's wrong with it before I even say hello to you. So it's very important to stay up to date, or you're going to get in a situation where you really can't do anything. So.
And then our last value is our responsibility to our community. Without community support, without community members supporting us, we don't have customers. And so it's very important for us to support our community in return. Not just because other companies aren't doing it, but it's so important to support your local schools, or whatever you're passionate for. If you are passionate, I prefer the local school because that's what our daughter's in, a public school here in Conway. It's one of the lower income schools in Conway, and I like to make sure that I have what they need. Is that selfish to me? Make sure my daughter's school has everything? Maybe, but I think that's important. We like to do community events like the chili cook-off. We're part of the chamber. We sponsor events at the chamber. We do the things. So the responsibility back to our community in turn prevents us income, but that's not the only reason. We do owe that to our community as well to be successful. So this is just kind of some of the pictures, some of our work. We do operate 24/7. We traditionally sell American Standard equipment. We can operate on any type of branded equipment. The brand or the warranty is registered to the equipment, not to the heating and air company. So if you say, oh, it's now if you pay for a service contract with the heating and air company, you know, you go with them, obviously. But the equipment is for the equipment. It's not registered to a particular company. That's kind of confusing sometimes. We are certified to do Nest Pro, Google Nest Pros and things like that. And then we love our 5-star review on Google and things like that. So here's our membership. I talked about it briefly earlier. It's still the same membership kind of when we started. It's $298 for the first system, $99 for each additional system. It comes with your 2 cleanings per year. Those are your AC and your heat cleaning. So both systems are getting cleaned annually. This is an upfront fee because, like I said, we never charge members diagnostic fees, service fees, after-hour fees, whatever. So actually, our membership price is a little bit higher than everyone around here. And oh, that's higher. I'm not paying that. That's fine. You know, that's maybe not our customer. That's okay. But then when they go and look at it, we had this happen several times now. And I say, oh, well, they had to come out. They charged me $200 on Saturday evening to come out. And then their fee is no longer cheaper.
So, just kind of hit back on that, just be very careful because there's a lot of extra fees and a lot of extra fluffs. The craziest one I hear around here is a fee to hook your gauge up to the unit. Mm-hmm. You have to do that anyways to check it, but they charge you for that.
Yeah.
So it's very good.
Yeah. We did win A-Line Best Magazine again this year, which we were very excited. Now, full disclosure, we technically won as Best Home Contractor for Top Notch Home Services. The AC part of it, we won top 3, and which is incredible. But I'll take that little logo and snap it on. They can come to me. I'll go to a lawyer. I'll show you. I've got our Google reviews that we are very grateful for. I did hook up with the Vine. So I met a producer on the Vine and she was like, hey, come talk to me. It's more affordable than you think. I was like, we have like a no budget for this. So I doubt we can afford you, but sure, I'll talk to you for the future, right? I'll always take a meeting, think about it, whatever. I sat down with her and she was like, hey, it's only $500 a session. We could do that. I knew this was coming for the summer. So we agreed to 6 sessions on THV the Vine for $3,000 total. So I started doing this. I was so nervous. I've been on the TV before, but I was just nervous in general to say the wrong thing about heating and air because my background's not in heating and air. And so it just went so well. And it's all, it's just fun to do. The very first segment, we got a call after that. I'm like, oh, somebody heard on the news. Very first one. Yeah. Now it's more brand recognition and getting us out there. And several people have seen me around home and was like, are you on the news? And that's wild. And for a second, I'm like, oh God, what happened?
I remember the first segment, like she was just shaking like a leaf. And I have to get in there and calm her down. You got this, and pump her up and make sure she knows what all the parks and all that is and everything. But I don't know, has anybody seen her on there on TV? Yeah, she did an awesome job, didn't she?
Now he's like,
a-
do you need me
She's
to
like a
go?
pro at it now.
Yeah, now he's like, do you need me to go? No, I got
It's-
it. So that's fun. Here's just some pictures we've taken. It's very important that we post and show our real pictures of our stuff. I hate stock photos. And I don't know if you got, I do all the marketing for us, at the moment still. So I hate stock photos. It's very important we show pictures. This is something that our competitors are not doing. They're not showing live pictures. They're not showing the real intent of the company. This does bring risk. We've had someone critique us on Facebook about the solution we use, and it's gonna melt off the paint off their system, whatever, we just proceed on. But it's very important that we show this because this is again, the gateway into our business and allowing people to trust us as a smaller company compared to these big yellow companies with the god awful TV commercials and other companies around here. So you know what I'm talking about. So here's some of the people that made it possible for us. So we partnered with Elevate Creative Media. Jacob is who we met. Actually, I met Kyle first at a BNI meeting in Little Rock. And then we creeped on them and they did a builder here in Maumelle, Conway area. And I was like, hey, that's y'all. And so we met Jacob and they are very weird people. And I knew it. I knew that they were perfect for us. I mean, I posted this picture of them specifically so you can see how weird they are. I love it though. They're very unique. And then we met Kaylin, and Kaylin did our professional photos. And I strongly recommend you go follow Elevate. They are incredible.
Yeah, I couldn't say, I mean, much about them. I mean, they're, completely awesome. So if you're looking for any kind of marketing, they do, so like for us, we'll be doing podcasts, we're gonna do like shorts with little videos and stuff like that. I mean, they are a next level, they definitely are top notch.
Yes.
If you're looking for it, they,
All right. So Kaylin did our professional pictures, and let me just go back. You see my little pictures, and I did put a lot on the slide, so I've spaced them out a little bit. But Kaylin did these beautiful pictures. I'm like, how does this look so good? Of a heating and air unit, but we love our new pictures, our new marketing pictures with our new logo. We finally were able to kind of work on some of this and kind of get some of these branding images out there. Then we got Hannah. So before, Hannah's working on her second month of employment with us. We were hiring more techs, and Hannah applied and saw the listing, saw it was inclusive, and that spoke to her. She messaged me and said, hey, I don't have any experience in being there, but I feel like this is for me. Should I apply? And I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And so she applied, she filled out the survey. And Steve and I already talked, and we're like, we can't put someone out there with no experience. We don't, that's not right for us, but how are we gonna make this work? I was like, I can just feel it. Like we get vibes. And so we just knew. So we interviewed her, and I was like drilling into her experience. She's probably thinking we're crazy. I know she thinks we're crazy. It's okay. And so we're like drilling into her experience, and then finally realized, yeah, she's gonna be great for us. So Hannah was hired as our quality coordinator. Hannah is a younger version of me, which is wild in my mind to think about, but we're very, very similar. And she's been a great asset to help get us organized and get control of things. I can't do it all. That took me a long time to realize that I can't be the entire company all at once. So, and then Hannah always took some, that's Nana. This is on our property. Nana didn't know that she was going to be our photo prop for the day, but more pictures, just more fun. Stephanie is one of my friends. She doesn't work for us. She's just a friend of mine. She came from Rural Support that day to help me. We did a sonic drop that morning at the school district. She helped me with that, and she's like, I was like, just come with me. So she became a prop. Basically for photos, which like that's my mom's house. We shot there. My mom's system just got replaced with the American Standards, so that worked out very convenient that we were just able to use their property, and mom's working like, you should have told me I would have mowed, but it all looks great. It turned out great. We're very grateful. So this is the part that we tell you of who has made a difference in how we got here. Number one, this is the number one thing that changed our trajectory of everything when I met Selena. Selena's here. Selena is a life coach. She does business coaching. She does a lot. And I posted her information. I highly recommend you follow her and do all the things with Selena. Selena creeped on me. I was creeping on her. She's actually from Gainesville, place we hated. We had that mutual connection. I joined the mastermind with her, and Krista and Brenda are here from the mastermind. And I had no idea what to expect her to do, and that changed kind of my thinking, my way of asking questions. I wasn't allowed to ask questions that like correct answer. So Sandra's asked me, hey, what do you think about this? So instead of me like being like, I think you should do this, I was able to train my brain and say, have you considered something that would make you feel happier every day? Or I don't know, more broad questions to help support people rather than be like, you need to do this, you need to do this. Well, you do need to follow Selena, but beyond that, she's incredible.
Yeah, she does. So I went through the mastermind, it's called Mighty Amends. And I can't say enough about Selena. I mean, just absolutely amazing.
So there's Selena's information. She's here. If you want to talk to her, she's 10 out of 10. Here's our amazing lawyer who whoops the Nolan's butt. This is Kristen Parker. She works for Jason Owens Law Firm, which is right here downtown. She is a go-getter. She is cutthroat. She will tell you a full opinion. She does not play, and that's what I needed. That's how I function. I don't know how I failed so many times trying to find people before, because I did interviews, I did all things, but she doesn't play. We're very grateful for her. She's amazing. I recommend if you need any kind of legal services pertaining to your business, your trust, your anything like that, to use Brooklyn. Sorry. So then we joined the Arnold Innovation Center here. I was often some at Studio, which is an incredible place as well. But one of my friends, Krista, was like, you have to check out AIC. I think even Caitlin from Cross Creek office is here. I really didn't know Caitlin at this point. But I was like, oh, Caitlin did, maybe that's what I need to do. And Krista likes it. Okay. So I made the appointment and I met with him, and she was like, it's $25 a month. And I was like, do what? I was like, I'll pay for the whole year. So I paid for the year, and since then we were offered an office space here upstairs. This has become our home, our support. Without the people, I couldn't get a good screenshot of y'all's website, but without all the staff here at AIC, we wouldn't be as progressing like we are.
Love y'all too. Yeah.
So the other thing we did was we joined the Conway Chamber. And Leo is here from the Chamber. Incredible. The Chamber has made a huge impact in our business, in the town. Everything that the Chamber does is incredible. I'm also in the Chamber Leadership Program, so I'm continuing to learn what the Chamber is doing. And I cannot say enough good things about the Conway Chamber. We joined a pipeline group. I've since changed pipeline groups, but I recommend joining that. It's kind of like a BNI or referral networking group, but a lot of our referral groups are here and supporting us. And I just highly recommend that for your business, or even to visit, just be a part of the Chamber. It's so important to support them because they're doing so much for our community. I can talk about it for days. And Leo was incredible. He sat down with me and he just went through everything. It's amazing. One other person that has been really big support to us is Gilberto. I met him in a pipeline meeting. He is a financial planner here in Conway. Him and his brother built Garcia Wealth Management, kind of all day ward. Gilberto has been a big support system of us. No, you don't need to do this. Your business will do this. Let's do this. You need to focus on cash. You need to focus on this. You need to do this. Do you have a trust? Do you have a will? Do you have, just don't like stack off at us. Oh God, this is crazy. But I mean, he's been a key part to us. So we really appreciate having Gilberto's knowledge. He's still in his 20s. He's incredible. You should also look him up. Yeah. We love Diremark. Allie is here today. Diremark, I have used many times for our shirts, our marketing, our stuff. I have tried to break up with Diremark a couple times now, and used other people. I don't know why, either people, it never goes well. I'm very close with Allie now. She's also in the Cali group with us. She's in our networking group. Diremark is incredible. They do promotional products, screen printing, embroidery. They do all the things. They do all our shirts. They're incredible. You should also follow them. They are our park rider at the old photo place, you know? Okay, all right. Here's their information if you'd like to contact them. And so now where we're going towards the future, I'm almost done talking, I promise. We are going to be looking forward. So we have officially going to start working with Drew Spurgers, who runs the EOS, which is the Entrepreneurial Operating System, and to start that program next month. We have a goal of 10 million in revenue. I don't necessarily have a timeline, which is not smart, it's a smart goal, you know, but we would like to hit 10 million in revenue. We'd like to be across multiple states of service. We'd like to have personally 7 streams of income coming in for us personally. We have again, personal goal of 4 family vacations per year and 1 couple vacation per year. My mom's probably like, oh my God. If that means she's got to do. My parents are divorced. They're both here. Their noses are sitting on separate rows. Like to have to make sure our staff and our employees have some sense of financial freedom. We don't want to hold them back in their careers. We want to make sure we're offering the opportunities of helping our employees and their families thrive just like we are. We aren't going to be a company that, like, I mean, I do what I got, but like, you know, just takes it all rather than reimbursing. So we couldn't do this without our employees.
Yeah, so like anything, you know, like we're both an open book. Y'all can ask us any questions. And that goes right to our employees as well. We want to help them. Just, you know, anything that we learn, we're not going to be hiding that. We want to encourage and we want to educate of how to enrich their lives as well.
We want to continue to make a community impact. We will be donating the school supplies for Theodore Jones Elementary. That is not our school, but we do love that school. That was a huge purchase for us, but we want to continue to make that community impact. We want to mentally and physically be healthy. We've already mentioned that. We'd obviously like to continue that. And we really want to create a legacy for, you know, which is our kids, Emily and Owen. So now's the time to whip out your phones. And this is our Facebook page. I would love for you to follow us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. It really helps boost our numbers and our content. It's all marketing jabber, but it does help. It really does help. So please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I'll see some photos. I'll wait just a minute. Very important to me. So, and then, oh, still going. This is my obligation to you for coming. I'm getting lots of likes. Thank you so much. Okay, all right. And then this QR code will take you to our website and our contact number. I did leave cards and everyone sees if anyone didn't get one. This is us. This is our information. Our membership information is on the back. If you have a real estate portfolio that you want to put these in your clients, please let me know. I'd love to give you 100 more copies. And yeah, that's us. Questions?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Has anybody got any questions for us?
I just gave you our entire life story. Selena.
Yeah, I'd like to know, what is the hardest about being a couple in entrepreneurship? And what is one tip that you have to other couples in entrepreneurship?
I think I'll say my hardest. My hardest is being, this is our life, our business, this is our family, this is everything. So it's hard to like turn it off after hours, on the weekends. Like we are constantly, I'm constantly on social media. Cause someone will post like, needing air, contractor in Conway, and so I'm like, you know, and going for it basically. So I think turning it off is a hard one.
Yeah, that's, that was exactly what I was hoping to go first, so I could say. It really is the hardest thing to do, is when your mind is focused and you're, you know, threes like us, and we just want to hit goals all the time, it's hard to go home and be home.
Yeah, I'll mention, so Selena does the Enneagram, and she taught us that we are both threes, which when we say that, if you know the Enneagram, that is like a big deal, because 2 threes going together were very goal oriented, goal driven. Like we almost bought a business 2 weeks ago just because we were like, oh, that looks good, let's buy it. That's just how we function. And so having that kind of mental mindset of just go is an interesting dynamic between us.
So I would say just being in a couple and being in a business, you know, we work together all day. Guess what? I go home all day.
Yeah,
And we're together. So you really have to bond. You really have to love, and you have to have a best friend that you love to be around no matter what.
I think
And I think for us, that's how,
Yeah.
we're so like-minded. And I think that's how that works.
we have to make the choice every day to do this. We make the decision to say, we are gonna run our business, we are gonna be married, we are gonna have our children be successful in life. So we continue to make those choices. And if something doesn't fit into our timeline, our time, you know, time's a big one to us. If that doesn't fit into it, that's not something we're gonna do. So I think that's important to make that choice.
Good question.
Melanie?
Did you have an aha moment of like, we're doing the right thing? Heating and air is for us. I know you talked about that some, but
Yeah.
was there an interaction you had with a customer or something positive that happened that made you realize like, this is what we need to be doing?
It was when we got Chris.
Okay.
When we got Chris to work with Steven, we knew that we could do it. Because I can handle the backside of the business, Steven can handle the front, and Steven's good at heating and air, but Chris is better. And so
It's true.
it is really true. Chris is better at heating and air, and we knew we needed another non-3 to balance us a little bit and to kind of bounce ideas off of. So really, Chris was a big part of the trajectory of the heating and air. And then just having customers sign up and to want to do this, like a handyman, we didn't get anyone sign up. But the heating and air, like we're going. So I think that having Chris, and then I don't think people actually sign up.
Yeah, Chris is definitely what's turned this and took it to the next level. I do, you know, I don't like talking about myself, but I do know a ton about heating and air. But it's crazy when he starts talking. Like we can go into a room and we can do this, and Chris will go in here and start crunching numbers and doing this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So he brings another level. I mean, he is super smart about it.
Just some of the scenario you talked about, when you first did your first membership, you got 0. You launched the heating and air one, how right was Steve?
So we started with like no subscriptions, basically. We have a small goal right now to reach 100 subscriptions by the end of summer. I think we're pushing 80 at the moment. So we're doing really good. 100 is not sustainable though. Chanel, where he came from, had how many?
3,500.
3,500. So we have a long ways to go and where we need to be.
Yeah, but I will just put it in perspective, you know, that's somebody that's been in business for 30 years. We've been in the heat and air, we've been pushing heat and air memberships for
6 months.
6
Yeah.
6 months. So, yeah, and that's when I think like, dang, they've been in 30 years and they're at 3,100. That's why I'm like, no, maybe we are doing okay. And so it's going well. Anyone else? Have a good time? Maybe one more, yeah.
Repeat. Do you think that working for someone else before working for yourself gave you a perspective that you needed before you did this on your own together?
Unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think we talk about how awful the Florida experience was for us. And without the Florida experience, we wouldn't have been where we are today and know how to treat ourselves and treat employees and what to expect today. That was a very humbling experience for us as Florida. and then being very poor in Dallas. The two, opposites. And Florida was a big test to our marriage and everything. We were not on the same page with Florida. We frankly didn't like it so much in Florida. But we had to like regroup and get it together and decide like, do we want to do this? Are we doing this? So.
What's motivated you guys to be so, sort of invested in your community, and have you seen the ROI?
When I think.
Directly, no, I don't think so yet.
Yeah, I guess when I think about giving the community, I don't even think about an ROI.
I do. I have to, because I have to pay things, I have to do things.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And I'm more-
obviously we have bills. I guess when I think about that in the community, I'm not trying to get something back off of it. You know, the community has helped us get to where we are now. And it's almost, to me personally, it's like a give back. So we're doing that because we want to, not because I'm looking to gain X amount of revenue off of it. That's the way I see it.
We've also lived in a bunch of different cities, and I don't just say that because we're in Conway right now, but Conway has been very good for us. We love the city, we love the parks, we love things around here, it's got everything we need. And so we like investing in Conway specifically. We obviously won't be staying in Conway forever, because we want to get to money, and that's just not gonna happen in Conway, but we do really enjoy Conway, so I think that being happy in our community helps us. So, did you?
I love everything you said about how you plan and intend to treat employees.
Yes.
What about the opposite side of that, where yes, you're wanting to be good to your employees, but you also have to be careful about the employees being good to you? How do you manage
Correct.
that?
So when I told, my mom is in HR, I told my mom that I was gonna have unlimited mental health days. She was like, no, you can't do that. And she was like, you can't be unlimited, like you've got to put a limit. And I've also talked to her HR, and that's legit. But my mom is right. A lot of people are right. I do think when we interview and we find the people, it's very important to set that expectation initially. We are not scared to terminate employees. And I don't mean to say that as a threat to our employees or anything, but as business owners and this is our life, we have to take control of that. And we did do that for a while. And that's why the remodeling got screwed up. And that's why we owe debt. And that's why we go things, because we had to constantly go back because employees that weren't right for us.
Yeah.
And so making sure employees have those expectations of, you treat me well, I'll treat you well. You do this for me, and it's not like you have to do this like weird stuff, but like, but like just being there in general to support them or to say, hey, take today, or Hannah, again, I don't mean to like, blow myself up, but Hannah's electricity went out for a few days. She was planning, she already had a pre-scheduled vacation that she was going on. She'd been saving money for. Her electricity went out, she was out for 4 or 5 days. She lost all her food. And she came in crying. She would have actively crying, but you could just tell. And I said, what's wrong with you? That's not her. And so she was like, we have to buy groceries now. We have to have anything to eat. Her mom was like, I've got some cheese I can give you. I was like, oh God, no, we can't do that. So I took her and I was like, here's a gift card. I just gave her $2.50 to Walmart, and that was just enough to hold her over, to not deplete her supply of vacation money, and just doing something small like that. I feel impacted her and shows trust towards her, trust towards back to us, and just small things like that.
But we have had, quite a few, at least a good handful of employees that has taken advantage of us.
Yes.
Because we do all, and we want to, almost be nurturing and all that. But we've had a handful that it's backfired on and really taken advantage of it. So then it's, so it's just the navigation.
So we're cautious, but the longer you are with, the more loyalty that's important to us. Sorry, that was a lot.
No, that was great. We're all out of time for questions, but please help me thank Stephen and Carol. We really do love having you guys as coworkers. You guys are sunshine for us. Just a quick reminder, our next workshop is August 9th. That's a Wednesday. It'll be at noon here. It's a free workshop on marketing. We'd love to see you guys. You just have to sign up online. And if you enjoyed today or learned something new, please follow us on social media as well as Top Notch, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.